Hi, my name is Dr. John Viard, and I want to talk to you today about two of my very favorite Ayurvedic sayings. The first one is to do less and accomplish more, and the second is to do nothing and accomplish everything. Do less and accomplish more means live your life in harmony with the natural cycles. Don't fight against the current. Paddle upstream every day. Feel exhausted and wasted as a result of your daily routine. Go with the current, so you're just steering as opposed to paddling against the current. And that's like eating with the seasons, eating at the right time of the day, going to sleep at the right time, waking up at the right time, exercising at the right time, all of the daily routine techniques that we talk about in Ayurveda. A big part of our 28-day Ayurvedic challenge, where you actually learn to live all these Ayurvedic principles of how to do less and accomplish more. But then there's the do nothing and accomplish everything. And this is really what we're going to spend the rest of our life trying to figure out, really. But I love the analogy of the sun. And the sun just sits up there 92 million miles away, and it's just doing its thing. It's just shining brightly. And here on Earth, the flowers feel safe in that sunlight to open and to blossom and literally follow the sun around the sky. So the sun sits there, in a sense, doing nothing. Really means it's not doing what it does to make the flowers blossom. It doesn't care if the flowers blossom, doesn't care if you chop down its trees, doesn't care if you kill its cattle. It just continues to do its thing. It's doing itself, okay? Doing you. And that's really the goal of Ayurvedic philosophy, is to do you, don't do them. And many of us spend a lot of energy trying to respond to other people's behavior. So for example, if someone is being mean to you and they're throwing emotional darts at you and they hurt your feelings, okay? You have three responses. The first response is to throw a dart back at them, right? Second response is to realize that they're throwing darts and they're dangerous, so walk away, run away, and leave them alone. And the third response is to realize that, with awareness, that the reason why they're throwing a dart at you in the first place is because they're hurt. You know, it's kind of like a rose bush. After a few million years of getting trampled or eaten, they figured out if they grew some thorns, they would stop trampling us and we would be safe. So the rose bush grew some thorns. Maybe people who are throwing emotional darts at you actually just grew some emotional protective thorns. And when you feel them coming your way, it's because they were trampled and they're hurt. So if you throw a dart back at a hurt person, you're going to hurt them more, expect more darts, right? If you retreat, run away, abandon them, they're going to feel abandoned and that you don't really like them, and they're going to say, see, I was right to throw a dart, put on my protective dart wall so I don't get hurt again. So that's why I continue to throw darts. The third opportunity is to realize that they're actually hurt. And instead of responding to their hurt behavior, to their darts, respond based on you, do you. And you are a loving, kind, joyful person. You have an awareness and understanding of why they're throwing the darts. So instead of acting based on their dart throwing, let their darts go by and respond based on your loving nature and act on that loving nature. And all of a sudden, when you do you, which is act on your loving, kind self through the window of compassion and understanding as to why they threw the dart in the first place, they feel incredibly disarmed. They feel like, wow, usually people throw darts at me, back at me, or they run away from me, and this person is being nice to me. Softens the petals of their flower. They feel safe to open themselves to you and have a relationship based on truth. And I really believe that's how we change the world, by some of us realizing that the reason people are being mean is because they're hurt. Instead of hurting them more, do you. Your nature isn't to go around hurting people. Your nature is loving, kind, joyful, and compassionate. So let's act on that. You know, all the Ayurvedic techniques, whether it be yoga, breathing, meditation, living in harmony with nature, all the Ayurvedic techniques are self-awareness techniques. Matter of fact, we just completed our transformational awareness course, which is a meditation technique. 6 meditations to emotional freedom. And so many of us, we meditate, then we go open our eyes and we go back into our world, and we never take the awareness into action. The key is to become more self-aware of, why am I reacting to their behavior? Instead of acting on them, start realizing how I can act based on my true loving nature. Lay down new neural pavement in my brain that says it's okay for me to let the petals of my flower open and shine my light. through these very scary looking clouds. So instead of saying, hey, they're killing my cattle and they're chopping my trees down, so no more sunlight for them, I can't be nice and loving to them, why not? Why not take that risk to act on love, random acts of kindness, random acts of joy, compassion? And what you begin to see is that you begin to change how you function. Meditation, yoga, breathing, all these techniques create a calm lake so you can see more clearly this crazy mind of ours. And with that clarity, take action to take transformational change action steps to free ourselves from these old patterns. And when you do that, you begin to start doing this thing that I like to call doing nothing and accomplishing everything. Because you're not doing something to elicit a response, you're just simply being yourself. And that feels like you're doing nothing. And it's easy to love someone, easy to give to someone. It, in fact, fills you up. We have the science to prove that when you act on love and joy and kindness, you trigger a hormone called oxytocin. And the more that you stimulate it with actions of love and kindness and giving, the more you make. And therefore, the easier it is. So we know for a fact that the more you do that, the more it feels like you're doing nothing. Do nothing, accomplish everything. When people feel your sunlight, they feel safe to open the petals of their flower and let the truth of them out, right? When you act on the need for a response, which is a dopamine hormone, the more I stimulate myself to feel stimulated and then feel happy, or buy something to get the return on that investment, or to manipulate someone emotionally to make them love me, these are all based on a return on investment. If I don't get the return, I don't feel safe and secure. And that dopamine is diminishing. The more you stimulate it, the more stimulus you need to get it again and again and again. So it's harder and harder to get that sense of satisfaction through dopamine, through doing them. But by doing you, producing oxytocin through these actions of love and kindness, you really do begin to feel like you're doing nothing and accomplishing everything. And that's why Ayurveda is so critically special, because the whole thing is about teaching us how to become more self-aware, how to become more calm. I call it the eye of the hurricane, the calm that supports the winds of the activity. Instead of dodging refrigerators and all this crazy stress of life we have, create that inner composure and calm with meditation and yoga and breathing. I invite you to take our free meditation classes that we offer, learn about the transformational awareness technique so you can begin to learn how to create the awareness and the calm, and then more and most importantly, take transformational action steps in your life to free yourself from these emotional patterns of behavior that you may have created when you were a young child that were perfection and back then to protect you, but now as an adult, simply not serving. Let's learn how to do you and stop doing them, and do nothing and accomplish everything. Please check out the article. I go into detail into this technique of how to do nothing and accomplish everything in the article associated with this video at lifespa.com. See you next time.
This recording is brought to you by LifeSpa, where ancient Ayurvedic wisdom meets modern science. Get access to free health video newsletters by Dr. John at lifespa.com.